How's it saying 1 minute live when we've only been on live for 10 seconds?
I can't see it. Oh,
Um,
there we are.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too far away.
There we are.
Yeah, the boys. How was your live last night, by the way?
Oh, bloody brilliant.
Was it?
Yeah, we
Excellent.
were, it was all about periods and our
Oh,
cycle and how it affects our training.
awesome.
Yeah, no, it was a really, really good chat. And the girls, the feedback was incredible. So,
All right, cool. That's good.
yeah, it was good.
Good morning, Terry. Good morning, Sean. We got the early risers as usual. Be
As usual.
disappointing if I didn't have them two turn up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Morning, guys. Morning, everyone. How are we? Again, we're live today with health questions. Feel free to drop a question in the chat box wherever you are on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, wherever it is.
Wherever you are.
Wherever you are on this planet. Make them clean, please, especially TikTok, because you guys usually go to the pants area for asking questions. So
Oh, dirty dogs.
dirty dogs. It's too early for penis question that time of the day. Anyway, what have you been up to? It's 6:30. You're bright and chirpy.
Yeah, I'm just I feel really, really good. I think because we've been like hot and sweaty with this challenge and the amount of applications we've had come in, and it's just it's just been full on but busy. I love it.
Yeah.
Also got probably plays a part going away on the weekend. So
Ooh.
yeah.
That's right. You've got
Erin's hens, yeah.
Party.
Yeah. So I haven't left my kids, I don't know for how long.
Yeah,
so
right.
Maybe that's playing a little part why I'm feeling very happy and
excited.
I'm always happy.
I love time away from the kids, but I love my kids. It's you need it, honestly. You cannot function in this world if you don't have me time.
That's right.
That.
Yeah, and we've got a good bunch of girls coming away, so
cool.
Super exciting. How about you, Mike?
I've been gym this morning. It was good. And I'm pumped for this challenge. I think we've got close to 100 people at the moment, which is really cool. I mean, that's we didn't really expect that, but I actually know what I kind of did with coming in towards Christmas and New Year's and everyone wanting to shred up for Christmas and New Year's. So yeah, it's kind of expected in a way, but it's been really good that people are keen to take things on, and I'm looking forward to the challenge of the challenge because for us, boarding on 100 odd people at once is going to be fun.
Yep.
So patience is the key, coaches and people that have joined. So but you still got time to jump on board. We're going to close them probably tomorrow. So if you do want to jump on and have a crack at $500, hopefully change
what do you got to lose?
Some of your lifestyle in 21 days, and then you got to remember the one thing is you're not going to change everything in 21 days. It's a massive marathon, this weight loss and maintenance thing. So look for the long game. It's good to get in on a challenge and make yourself feel good and get into momentum, but build on that for future you. It's not 21 day you will not be too much different. It could be 5, it could be 7 kilos, it might only be 2, but still a big difference.
Yeah. So, just good to, if you're feeling like you're lacking, that motivation or whatever, and just really, really want to get moving. Now is your time, because this is a perfect opportunity. And I've got to say, I'm so, so super proud of the men and women that have reached out, because it's hard. Yeah. It's hard putting your hand up for a little bit of help and saying, hey, you know what? I'd love to jump in. So well done to you guys and girls that are coming along, because it's going to be sick. Yep. I'm super, super pumped for it. Kicks off Monday.
Yep, sure does. Yep. So both of our profiles have the link to sign up. So if you don't know where to look, jump on our Facebook profiles or any other social media profile, and you'll find a nice little box that says free challenge, 21 days, let's go, $500. What do you got to lose? Weight. That's what you got to lose.
That's exactly right.
All right, let's kickstart our Q&A for the day. And we have a couple of, 10 pretty decent questions to answer. Q1, let's see if this one works today and pops up. Yeah, it does. Here we go. Looking to add a good protein bar into my daily routine, but getting confused as what's good and what's not. Can you break it down what to look for? We better not ask Christy Keenan this question because she'll be over not having Quest protein bars.
She's not a Quest ambassador, is she?
No, definitely not. Look, first and foremost for me, it's got to be taste. Taste is super important because if you don't like the taste of the protein bar, you won't fucking eat the protein bar and it defeats the purpose. Would you agree on that, Carl?
Absolutely. You've got to find one that you enjoy. And there's some that are so sweet and some that aren't. And it just depends on, what your palate prefers.
Palate, yeah.
That's the one.
Also, like when you say the question's like, what can you break down what to look for? For me, it's the protein and calorie ratio. Yep. That's super important. We don't want to get a protein bar that's like 350 calories, only 10 grams of protein. It's not really a bang for buck return on investment. Look for the 10% rule. I like to call it the 10% rule. If my protein bar is 200 calories, you should be getting 20 grams of protein. If it's 250, you should be getting 25 grams of protein. That's super important because it's a supplement for your protein. It's not part of your whole food diet. So we're supplementing it with a bar. And if I'm going to do that, I want to make sure I'm eating the right protein bar, not eating one that's got 5 grams of protein in it and it's 200 calories. It's just a waste of calories, really.
Yeah.
There are some out there that their protein ratio is really high, but they do have excessive amounts of sugar in them as well. So that will up the calories. So keep an eye on those. And I also look to find ones with a lot of fiber in them. 5 grams, 3 to 5 grams is pretty good. That helps your poo-poos, especially when you're full of protein all day and your guts are churning and burning trying to digest the protein. You add anything to that?
I agree with that, Mike. I think it's really important that it just comes down to being really able to read food labels, that nutrition panel on the back, because you go into the shopping center and, the things that are labeled to really, really market protein bars. Like you'll see high protein bars or whatever it is on the box.
Organic or
like,
beautiful words that are great for marketing.
That's right. And there's a couple of grams of protein in there and they're just calling it a protein bar because it contains protein. It's really, really, you've got to be able to read, those nutrition panels. But if you can't do that, then as you said, Mike, that 10% rule, 10 grams of protein to 100 calories and so forth.
Yeah, 10% is the best way. I've always stuck by it because, you're at a servo and you're like, desperate for something to eat. And I always go for protein bars because it fills me up. And I'm like, okay, I've never had this one before. What's the protein to calorie ratio? If it's 10%, I'll smack it. I'll grab it.
Yep.
If it's not, I won't do it.
Yep.
Excellent. Cool. All right. Number 2 skis. We have, I'm loving adding in HIIT to, let's start again. I'm loving adding HIIT into my training. If some weeks I can't fit weights in and do only HIIT, is this okay? Want to have a crack?
Yeah, sure. So I think anything actually is better than nothing. Don't rule it out. Obviously, your HIIT sessions play a part, especially in cardiovascular and the rest of it. But, it depends what your goal is. Like if you're wanting to lose weight, don't be hung up on smashing yourself in these massive cardio classes when you could be in the gym just lifting weights. As we know, resistance training is going to be burning more calories to build that bigger engine. But if it's something you enjoy doing, by all means do it, but don't let it, I think it's really important as we age, as you guys are aware, that our muscles break down. We want to be including resistance training. So don't let it, overtake and that's the sole focus. In conjunction, but I would be weights.
Oh, totally agree. This is coming from a guy that was an interval training guru from, no, I wouldn't say guru, I was a bitch for it for a very long time. It did. The greatest thing that it could have done for me was it got me back into exercise, and I absolutely love the fact that it did that. Was it good for me? Probably not in the long run because it was absolutely taxing on the joints. But the operative word in high intensity interval training is the second word, intensity. Okay, it's an intense session. That's why it's condensed to 30 to 45 minutes. You get bang for buck, don't get me wrong, but it is really super taxing on the body. So pairing it up with weight training is perfectly fine. So what I mean by that is if you do it once a week or twice, maybe I'd like you give you twice a week just to get a bit of a sweat on, get your cardio up. Yeah, cool, excellent. It's really good for burning those extra calories and getting your heart rate up. But listen to your body, because if you're pairing interval training with weight training, what you're doing is you're taxing your joints with loads at the gym with weight, but also doing your hop and skipping and all that stuff in the interval training. So listen to your body. You're going to have to integrate a rest day in there somewhere because your body's going to be screaming out for it.
Yep.
And also make sure you're eating enough carbohydrates, because you're going to be burning a shitload of it off doing intensive interval training. So it could hinder your calorie deficit. So we've got to think about that as well. If you're not eating enough carbohydrates, you won't be able to fuel it, and then you'll be failing at doing interval training. So, a mix of both is really cool and excellent for your cardio and your weight training. But for me, it'd be, if I had to say I had 4 days to train and I wanted to do interval, I'd do one. I do 1 day of interval training and then 3 days of the weights. Then look at doing
absolutely. And if you're overweight and carrying, excess kilos, going to do a high intensity class is not actually the thing to be doing. The amount of, on your knees, your joints, it's not good. It is not good for you. Get into the gym. And I hear it a lot, Mike, is people doing these high intensity classes, but they're doing weights, and they'll say, yeah, but I am doing weights. It's completely different. It's completely different. You're training under fatigue. It's not the same thing as lifting a weight inside the gym.
Correct. 100%. I think that's what we need to on that one. Okay, I've heard the term deposits and withdrawals a lot recently. Can you explain this a little more? Definitely. So it's a coined term that we use especially in the academy, of trying to simplify weight loss into a balance sheet, right? You can't spend a shit ton of money if you don't have any savings in your bank account. So it's the same as if you don't do the hard work. Let's think of the deposits as having a nutritious diet, eating in a calorie deficit, having a high protein diet, getting to the gym, doing your steps. They're all your deposits, right?
Getting a good night's sleep.
Hitting your water target. So many factors. Gratitude, even you can put that in there. Looking after your mental health. They're all the deposits you need to put in, calculated every single day. And the withdrawals, well, let's talk about your little, big binge on having a ton of drinks or eating your dirtiest burger and chips and pizzas or whatever it is. They're your withdrawals. So what we want our deposits to be up here and our withdrawals to be about there. So, we can take a few withdrawals and not have it this way.
Yeah.
If we start withdrawing more than we deposit, that's when we put on weight.
Yep. We've got really nothing to add to that. Take your withdrawals. This is why diets fail.
Yeah.
Is because you're so strict on yourself. Absolutely.
Yeah, diets fail because we binge on our withdrawals when we have a shit day, instead of using those withdrawals as a reward for hard work and dedication to looking after ourselves. Excuse me. Yep.
Nice one. Ezra drops it in here for a hand. I'm not sorry. I'm withdrawing this weekend. 100%. Ezra. We're going to be bankrupt. Have to build it back up. But that's exactly right, Mike. I've got a big weekend this weekend coming up. So what am I doing? I'm making my week count. Yeah. I'm, making sure that I get my deposits in. I'm fueling my body well. I'm getting to the gym. I'm drinking my water. Sleep. Yeah, I'm working on that. But, doing those things I can, the controllables during the week.
Yeah, definitely. Plan for it. For it. If you're going to have a shit weekend and you know it's coming up, do the hard work. End of story, and enjoy yourself and have a great time. What do we got next? I'm finding some days that I'm going way over on protein, but still within my calories. Will this do anything bad?
I love this question.
Good.
I love this question. Should I roll with it?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously, when you come into the academy, we give you, a bit of a base to follow.
Yep.
So the question is, I'm finding some days I'm going way over on protein, but still
over.
hitting my calories.
Correct.
This is not an issue. The only thing I would be asking is if you are eating in a calorie deficit, you can't accidentally go over in protein. There's no way you can accidentally go over in protein. You need to be supplementing, right? So whether that's protein shake, whatever it is, my question would be, what are you not hitting? What are you not? Are you stacking on all this protein into your diet, and therefore you're dropping your carbs, you're dropping your fat way down? Keep it simple and just, hit your targets.
Yeah.
Don't go overboard with the protein. And
definitely not.
There's actually no scientific evidence to prove that keep boosting that protein up and up and up, that it actually does anything anyway. So it's wasted calories.
Yeah, it is. It's wasted calories, that's for sure. There is it can impact your kidneys if we take it to extremes, but it's very hard for us to take it to extremes if we're in a calorie deficit. It's almost physically impossible to eat enough protein if you're in a calorie deficit to worry about that affecting your kidneys. So, for me, like Carly, the best thing you said there was it's wasted calories. It really is. There is no harmful limit really of protein in your diet. It's just like I'd be looking at, well, what am I doing? Overloading myself with calories to get my protein up too high. Most people in the academy have trouble hitting their protein target. That's the biggest issue we have with everybody there. But if you follow the plan's laid out for you, that calories versus protein intake. If you look at that also, it's almost like the 10% rule with the protein bar. If you're doing 1,800 calories, 1,900 calories a day, you should be hitting 190 grams of protein. If you're doing 1,600 calories a day, you should be hitting 150 to 160 grams of protein a day. So it's kind of really hard to go too far over unless you're supplementing
deliberately.
Having too many protein shakes. It's like the question last week was about, do I have to have my protein shake straight after I've worked out? No, you don't. Like it's a common misconception. So don't overload yourself if you don't need to. Don't excessively eat protein if you don't need to. Look at the old rule of 1.5 to 2 grams per target body weight. Let's make that known. It's target body weight. It's not if you're 150 kilos, you should be eating 300 grams of protein. No. If you're looking at hitting 100 kilos, then target 200 grams of protein.
Yep. For you and me, Mike, we love our carbs. Have a bowl of pasta instead.
Have as many pieces of potato you can possibly have.
Yeah. Don't be mean to the potatoes.
My absolute favorite kind of carbohydrate. That's pretty much all we need to do about that. So excessive protein usually means excessive calories. So stick to your calorie deficit, keep your protein down to 2 grams per target body weight, and you should be absolutely fine.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Did I just put the same question up again? I think I did.
Yeah.
My bad. Okay. I saw someone talk about having low iron. Why?
Struggling to lose fat.
Hang on. I've just lost my question. Something's going wrong with...
That's okay. So the question is, struggling to lose fat in my legs, but it's definitely coming off everywhere else. Is this just a case of doing more heavy leg exercises?
Thank you.
Have you got it, Mikey?
Yeah, my Google sheet just started pasting the last question on top of everything else. So yeah, that was great. Cool. I'm finding some days that I'm going, wait, no, that's done it again.
I was just about to say, Mike.
My God, it's done it again. That's crazy.
That's all right. So
live.
Oh, there we are.
Here we go. Struggling to lose fat in my legs, but it's definitely coming off everywhere else. Is this just a case of doing more heavy leg exercises? Right. Okay. Number one, targeted fat loss is almost physically impossible. Okay. Almost. I say almost because if you only train legs and nothing else, well, yeah, you will help because you'll gain muscle, but targeted fat loss isn't easily achievable, and it's pretty much non-existent. It's systematic, generally systematic. Fat loss, generally systematic. So for us guys, it's usually the hardest for us to lose it off our midriff, and girls, it's usually your ass midriff. Would you say probably the bat wings too sometimes for girls as well?
I think we all have our own problematic areas.
But it's generally
eyes.
for men, it's like the last thing we get is the midriff, and the girls, it's usually that sort of ass midriff area. So,
absolutely.
Yes, incorporate compound leg exercises to build muscle and burn calories. 100% in line with the calorie deficit, in line with hitting your protein target. The only way you're going to lose fat anywhere in your body is if you're eating less fuel than your body needs to burn off. Okay. The other thing you've got to use is patience. Okay, patience. If you get into a calorie deficit, it doesn't mean in 4 weeks' time you're going to all of a sudden have these nice skinny legs or muscular legs or whatever your goal is. It takes time. Okay, it takes time. We've got routines specifically for targeting the butt and the legs if that's what you want to work on, but don't discard the rest of your body. You don't want to look out of proportion. So if you work hard on your legs, if you get into a calorie deficit and you hit your protein target, even water intake as well, you will be able to lose fat systematically over your entire body. And it might take a little bit longer, but patience is the key when it comes to targeted areas. For me, it's always been hips and midriff, and that's because I'm not eating enough of a calorie deficit because I absolutely love my food. So I don't really
feel you're happy with that and you're not hung up on it.
I've got a really strong core.
Yep.
Like, very strong. Do I need a six pack? I don't have the discipline to go down to 1,500 calories a day and really deplete myself of everything. I like being healthy. I like feeling good. That to me is the most important thing. So, right. Can you target your legs? Muscular? Yes. Fat? No.
Yeah. Yep. I think
that. Reduce it? Yes, by calorie deficit and high protein diet. Simple as that.
Yeah. I think it's just important to remember that, whatever your weight is, you didn't stack on a whole heap of weight. Like, you didn't become 20 kilos overweight overnight. So it's not going to happen as hard as it is and as consistent as we need to be. It's just realistically, it's not going to happen overnight. Like you said, Mike, you've got to be consistent. You've got to be patient. It will. If you are losing weight, if you're in a calorie deficit, you will lose weight overall eventually.
Correct. There is no such thing as targeted fat loss, period.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Okay. Excellent. All right. Okay. I've seen someone talk about having low iron in the group this week. I think I may have low iron too, as I'm always tired. What can I do to help this? Okay. First thing to say, just because you're always tired doesn't always mean you have low iron. It might be lack of sleep. It might be not enough food. It might be not enough water. Yeah, Erin's hit that nail on the head. That's where I'm about to go to. Is first thing to do is don't go to Dr. Google, go to the actual doctor and get a blood test. Humans out there that are watching, it is very, very important for your health to get a checkup every 6 months if you can, especially your bloods. If we are introducing ourselves into the world of health and wellness and we're starting to take supplements, and some of us go for pre-workouts and some of us look for the fat burner stuff and all that thing, it's very, very important that you get your bloods checked. 12 months would be great. Every 6 months would be even better. I do it personally because there's a history of diseases and blood health in my family, so that's a common thing for me to do. But I had an issue once with a pre-workout / fat burner that I took years and years and years ago, and it affected my cholesterol and triglyceride level. Like, it went through the roof. I stopped taking that. I went off medication straight away. So super, super important. Get a test first. If you're feeling tired, like for me, it's, okay, what's happening in my lifestyle to make me feel tired? That's the first thing I'd look for. If you do come back with an iron deficiency, obviously a doctor will give you, most of the times I'll give you medication for it, prescribe you with some pills for it. But to me, it'd be looking for more iron-rich foods like lean meats and beans and spinaches and mushrooms and stuff like that. Iron supplements you can get, but I would rather look for natural ways of getting your iron levels up. But go see a doctor and get a blood test first to confirm that it is that, and then monitor what's going on in your life to make you feel like you're exhausted all the time.
Yep.
Makes sense?
Completely agree.
Cool.
Don't diagnose yourself with it. Go and get it checked. And you probably don't have, well, you could be, you could actually have if you're not eating a well-balanced diet. But if you do, of course, hydration, if you're feeling tired, hydration is number one. That is probably why you're feeling fatigued. Are you, this could be so much going on. Eat your leafy greens, eat your lean meats, get your iron in that way. And of course, if nothing changes, go and get it checked out.
And you know yourself, Carl's being a new parent, like that's a massive contributor to feeling very tired. So it doesn't necessarily mean your iron levels are really low. But hand in hand with being a new parent is most of the time, if you're not aware of your diet, you're eating shit food, so it could be a problem.
Yep.
But yeah, go get a blood test first and make sure that it is actually an iron deficiency before you diagnose yourself. Then we'll look into what type of supplementation or increasing your nutrition in your diet.
And of course, as well, if you're female and you have quite a heavy period, you actually need to go and get that checked out, because when we have such heavy periods, ladies, that can absolutely lead to an iron deficiency. So, and it could be just a tablet a day, supplementing. It's going to make you feel a whole lot better. So just be aware of your cycle and how that can actually contribute.
Excellent. Thanks, Carly. That's a disadvantage of me not having a period.
Well, that's right.
Well, an advantage in one way.
Exactly.
All right. I'm trying to shift from being a night owl to an early morning person, as I can see what the benefits are. Struggling to make this change. Any tips? Okay, night owl to a morning person. I'm guessing that means training.
Bend ahead. Oh, I was going down the line of bend ahead. No, it wasn't really. But...
I don't know if it's a shift work question or I think it's to do with, let's talk about training. Okay, night owl, say someone who goes to the gym in the afternoon, or an early morning person, someone who gets up early and trains, or whatever it is. To shift from night to morning, I think the most important part is your bedtime routine, is cutting back the time to when you go to bed. So if I like to go to bed, I'm like probably 10 o'clock at night type of guy, because I feel like I still have things to do and I get things done when everyone's asleep, and I don't like that. But I still get up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, but I get my 7 hours of sleep. So that's important for me. But if you are someone that's, say, a 12 or a 1 o'clocker and you want to start in the morning, your bedtime routine is where you got to start. So gradually shift it back half an hour, say every couple of days, like to wean yourself into it. It's not easy just to go, hey, I'm going to go to bed at 8 o'clock when you're sitting there and you're wide awake in bed, because you're used to going to bed at 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. So bedtime routine is super important. Find something that makes you go to sleep. Reading a book or listening to a podcast or something generally helps me. I've had a rough few weeks of trying to go to sleep, and I've had a podcast in my ear, and it helps me go to sleep quite good, which is really cool. Avoiding screen time. I know it's kind of blasé and cliched, but it actually does help you get tired eyes, which is really cool. But get used to waking up early. Get used to the 5-second rule. Get used to getting your ass out of bed when you want to get out of bed. I know it's hard, especially when it's cold and miserable out there. But if you want to get up early and train early, you've got to make a conscious choice to do that. But for waking up, I don't know, if you get up early enough, have a cold shower. Like, it really does wake you up straight away, and there's a lot of health benefits with cold showers. But yeah, the hardest part is, if it's shift work question, I can't answer that because I've never done shift work. But for me, it would be just slowly transitioning yourself back a few hours to go to bed earlier, so you can wake up earlier and get your 7 or 8 hours sleep.
Yeah. I think this is a really great question, because, especially not just being a mum, but being parents, we love to use that evening time as a bit of downtime after the kids. Like, for me, I find that, like, once my kids go to sleep, even though it's pretty late, we don't have an amazing routine here, and I don't claim to. But, those times when the kids do finally go to sleep, or whatever it is, it's kind of like, it's like, oh, do I want to stay up that little bit longer and get a bit of me time, or get a bit of work done, or get organized for the next day or whatever, or do I just go to sleep? So I get this question, and I know it's quite a struggle, but absolutely agree, Mike. If you want to improve and work on that, I think getting yourself into a good sleep routine is your number one tip. Setting up a good sleep environment, making sure the room's dimmed, the rest of it. We could go into that so deep, but yeah, I think we answered that that pretty well.
Yep.
For me, my number one thing is, my phone. My phone is always going off. So putting it either on
sleep
not
mode,
disturb
do not
or
disturb.
silent, flip it over, get it out of the room, whatever it is, get rid of the phone. That for me is a big one.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. I don't know who asked this question, but we got another livey, which is really good. Just say my target weight is 72 kilos. Is my target protein intake approximately 140 grams as opposed to the standard 200 grams? Following your rule of eating at your target weight. Hope this makes sense. Yeah, it makes total sense. And that's exactly what my point was, is if you are 85 kilos and you want to hit 72, my goal for you would be 2 grams of protein per kilo of target weight. So 140 grams is bang on the money. 145, 150. You can't go wrong with that. 200 is not really required. If I don't know if you're a male or female, so I don't know who asked that question. I can't find it, but yeah, definitely right. That's exactly what we were talking about before. If you're 100 kilos and your target is 70, don't go for 200 grams. It's your target body weight. What it will generally mean is, and we'll go back over the question we said before, is your calories are going to be a lot higher. So for losing weight, we want to be in a deficit. But we also want to have a higher protein intake in our diet. Whoops, I just smacked myself. Am I still there?
Yeah, you're still there.
Yeah, cool. It says here disconnected. Oh, well. Yeah, so if your target is 72, 144, 142, 140 is perfectly bang on. So great question to ask. Thank you.
Yep.
Mark says, plan the next day and know what you're going to do first thing in the morning. Yep, perfect. Exactly right. I used to stay up till stupid hours at night. Took a bit of time for my body to adjust to bed earlier. Waking up earlier took about 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah, progressively reducing your time going to bed will help. It's like at the gym. You can't go in and bench press 100 kilos unless you start going from 20 to 25 to 30 to 35 to 45. So it's the same thing. Jess loves a cold shower. I love that too. How good are the scales that monitor body fat, etc.? I have one, but I don't know how much to trust it. You've answered your own question. It's like a smartwatch. They are reasonably accurate, but they are not 100% accurate. So I wouldn't trust the body fat percentage on a e-scale or whatever these things that are called. They get them as close as possible, but it's as only good as the metrics that you put in: height, weight, whatever else that they need. They measure off your blood flow and all the rest of it. So the best way, if you want to test body fat percentage, is go get a DEXA scan. Costs you about $100, $150. If you really need to know your body fat percentage, but
yeah,
I don't give a fuck about body fat percentage.
Yeah.
For me, what important is comfort. Yeah, how I feel, how I look.
Yeah. Why? The question would be, why do you want to know? Why do you want to know that? Is it just like, yeah, I get it. People do want to know, and it is interesting. But no, scales, dog shit. Don't go holding on to those things with the handles and the rest of it. Dog shit, like you said, Mike. Go with the DEXA. Pay the money if you're going to do it.
They say it's like 90% accurate. It could be, but again, it's like there's so many governing factors that could affect it if it hasn't updated the system, blah, 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 blah. But I know there's a lot of techie nerds out there, data nerds that need to know all this stuff, which is cool, but go get a DEXA scan and get it actually as accurate as possible. Even that's only 99.9% accurate. But just use the scales for the weight. That's all.
Yep.
I find the older scales are the best ones because they can't lie. Where the digital ones, for some reason, I reckon there's a floor's not level and all the rest of it. They're pretty inaccurate. So yeah, don't trust them. Don't trust them for that percentage. Mine told me once that I was 12%. I'm definitely not 12%.
Yeah,
I can tell you that right now. Yeah. If it was 12%, I'd have a decent set of abs on there, but no, definitely not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I struggle to train when I'm on my period. Well, that's not a question for me because I don't. I'm pretty good when I'm on my period.
What's the question? I struggle to train when I'm on my period. Should I just push through this and get motivated, or allow myself some downtime? Can I still lift heavy? This is a brilliant question.
Yeah, go for it, Carl.
Fantastic. So, look, I think it's really important that you use your body's signals as an indication. Be in sync with your body and being able to know where your cycle is up to. For me personally, it's really funny that these questions come up, because this was what our women's topic was about last night. So for me, my cycle doesn't actually impact my training that much. Okay, but for a lot of women, absolutely it does. And this is quite a bit of a complex. Just to answer like this in a few short minutes, but your cycle is in 4 phases. Okay, so basically you've got your menstruation, you've got your follicular, your ovulation, and then your luteal phase. Okay, so as you hit your luteal phase and you menstruate, ladies, you are naturally going to feel less energized. You're going to feel weaker. You're going to feel like recovery is that little bit harder. As you get into your mid-cycle, that's when we start to have more energy, and the hormones are, starting to come out a little bit more balanced, and we start to feel like we can lift heavy. We feel stronger. So I think it's important that when you do have those down days, listen to your body. You are going to feel sore if you're not hydrating and you're not eating a well-balanced diet, because these play a massive role during your menstrual cycle. The whole cycle is really, really important just to eat a well-balanced diet. But if you are feeling weak and fatigued, absolutely drop the weights, have a day off if you want to. I'm really hesitant. I get really passionate about this, because I'm really hesitant in saying to the ladies, yeah, okay, I've got my period or whatever, I'm feeling tired, and just saying, okay, have a day off, don't train.
Yeah.
Is it a mindset thing? Is it actually that, I'm actually tired and I need to rest my body, or is it I'm using it as an excuse?
Yeah.
So you've really got to be in sync with your cycle and know exactly, just listen to your body. You should be able to work out, am I being lazy? Can I push through? Or is it time to actually rest and recover?
Yeah. I'm not having physical experience with periods makes it hard for me to answer that question. But going off what you just said, potentially it could be an excuse, because I'm just thinking, comparing it to if I had the flu or something where I'm less energized. It doesn't mean I can't work out. It just means I can go for a lighter workout or do some yoga or something that's going to make me feel good about myself. So if you're training 4 days a week and your period falls into that 4 days, whatever day it is, and you do feel like shit because you've lost a ton of blood and you feel de-energized, well, use that day for a light workout or a stretching session or yoga or Pilates or something that's going to make you feel good, but not too rough on the old energy levels, whereas weight training will be. But lifting heavy, as far as I know, is pretty safe to do when you do have your period, as long as you listen to your body. But listening to your body and prioritizing self-care is definitely a must for sure.
Yep. And obviously some women's experience with their periods are so different. Like the variances are crazy. Like for me, it's not a big issue. For another lady, it's like, completely bedridden, cramping, and the rest of it. So you just gauge and just read your body signals.
Yeah, exactly right. That's all I can say about that, because I'm not an expert in periods.
You're not?
Excellent. No, you answered that really well.
Lucky you had me in with you today.
Yeah, I know, man. I was like, I would have been struggling.
And you've got 3 boys too, no girls.
Yeah, no girls. No, even the dogs are boys. I know. Poor Jo's surrounded by testosterone everywhere she goes, the poor thing. Can I work out 7 days a week? Do I really need to rest if I feel okay? Are you an athlete? Do you need to work out 7 days a week? Probably not. I think if you've got time, 4 or 5 is awesome. If you are strapped for time, 3 or 4 is awesome. If you haven't ever worked out before, 1 or 2 is awesome. I don't really think you need to work out 7 days a week. If it's a mental health thing and it's something that's keeping you going, then cool. But I would look at, say, 4 really heavy days of training and 3 light or recovery sessions. But
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
that's still training, right? In my eyes. But if we're working out 7 days a week and we're putting our body under so much strain, we are going to get injured.
Yeah.
Because most of us, especially us men who train through pain, will suffer some sort of injury and it'll put us back, and then we won't be able to train again. So for me, if we're just starting our weight loss journey and we're just getting into the gym, there is no need for you to train 7 days a week. There is a need for you to do 3 to 4 days a week, which is perfectly fine. Your body's going to adjust.
It's always a worry, isn't it, Mike? When we chat to men and women that come into the academy, and they're really, really excited, and we say, okay, let's do you up an awesome program, get you into the gym or whatever, starting out at home. How many days do you want to train? And we get the 5, 6 days. If you are new to fitness and it's just you just want to get into momentum, we've got to build from something. So putting an expectation on yourself of that high is going to result in failure if you can't maintain it. So, like you said, Mike, one day is better than nothing. 2, 3, 4, beautiful.
Yeah.
Also, I would be asking, if you're working out 7 days per week, are your gym sessions half-assed?
Yeah.
Because for me personally, maybe I'm different. I actually couldn't train 7 days per week, the intensity that I train.
Yeah,
my
correct.
advice would be drop back and give it your all. Make those sessions hard and worthwhile while you're in the gym, and get those 3 hours back to yourself during the week.
Most definitely. I've had a client in the past where they could only train for half an hour a day, but they did train for 7 days because it made up for the 3 days. So an hour, if you say the average gym session is an hour and you're only getting half an hour time because you're so time poor, half an hour, 7 days a week is fine because the overload's pretty much similar. But what I've got to say to you guys is, if you are severely overweight, going to the gym 7 days a week is not going to benefit you at all, because you're basically a walking gymnasium yourself already. If you're, say, a man that's 140 to plus kilos, that's a lot of weight on your body, your knees, your joints. So if you're excessively overloading your body by going to the gym when you're very heavy, it's going to cause injury. So what we want to do is ease into it. Like 1 to 2 days a week is great, but walking is the best form for you because you're already carrying that weight. You're already working in a progressive overload, I guess, so to speak. So do you need to go 7 days? No, not necessarily if we're starting out. Overtraining can lead to burnout and hinder your progress. So we've got to make sure that we are on top of injury prevention, listening to our body, taking breaks. If you feel fatigued, generally means you're fatigued. So slow down.
Yep.
Make sure you have a really good program to continue training and enjoy what you're doing. I had a question come through last night from one of the girls, Susan. Talked about what's the benefits of foam rolling. Should I be doing it? And I as someone that does foam rolling,
you'd be a roller.
I'm definitely down on the roller. Bay City. For me, it's an important part of my recovery from intensive training. But for the average person, it's really cool to do it once or twice a week just to improve your flexibility and your range of motion. Like, you can get into some sort of good positions. It's almost like yoga in a way. It definitely reduces muscle soreness by like the myofascial part of the muscle. It just pulls it apart a bit and gets a bit of tension release. It improves the circulation in your blood. So if you've got poor blood flow, it's very, very good for that. Helps reduce pain. It kind of can pick out niggles as well. I like to roll, say, my back, for instance. I didn't realize I had really tight traps once, and when I was doing back rolling, I found my traps were really, really tight. So I got a massage on those and got them released, which it's cool in that way. It actually makes you aware of your body and what's in pain. But it's like, I think it's an integral part of anything. But you've got to be consistent, right? It's like anything in life. There's no point going for a massage once if you're not going to follow up and go again 2 to 3 weeks later and get, the rest of your body put into alignment. It's like anything you do. If you do it once, it's generally not going to benefit you too much. Like, say, cold plunges or saunas, but if you consistently do them over time, you'll find huge benefits for it. So Suze, for you, yep, definitely have a crack at foam rolling. If you don't know how to do it, just go to fucking YouTube. There's a heap of people out there that specialize in showing you the basics of foam rolling, which is the best place to start. But yeah, have a crack at it. I think it's super important.
Beautiful.
All right. Well, that's it.
That's lovely. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah, thank you very
Wednesday's
much.
Q&A. I will just say, reminder, peeps, if you want to get in on this challenge, it's time to do it now. We're not holding this open for too much longer. So
probably 24, 48 hours max. We're holding open the 21-day free challenge. So get on it, please. It's a great for people that have been sitting on the fence and are unsure about what we do in the BVA. Like that thing is really cool. But remember, the 21 days isn't going to change your whole life. It'll change a portion of it and actually get you into momentum. The critical part is the 21 days after your 21 days, when the habit starts to go away. You need that support. You need a coach. Everybody on this planet that's been successful in something has had someone help them, and that's what we do. We do it well. So,
that's right. And even if you just come in just to get you into momentum and say, see you later. Beautiful.
We'd love to see you. Yeah, we're the best at what we do. I know it sounds like cocky and corny, but we really are.
We are.
You will not get treated any better than what we do. So jump on board.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Carl. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Catch you later. And next time, chuck some questions in when you, even the day before when I put up the post, and let us know. We'll answer them. See ya.